All right. On tonight's program here, we're going to be discussing a subject that I have brought up several times over the years, a concept that I've attempted to introduce several times over the years, and tonight we're going to go to it in depth, that a woman must pay tribute if she's with a producer. Now, over the years, the concepts that I put out there have been used by other individuals. They've used them, but it wasn't actually fleshed out in its full context. In some cases, it was actually taken and distorted beyond belief. So it's not actually accurate. So tonight we're going to take an opportunity to clean this up. Years ago, I said to people that a man needs to lead. And what I wanted to make it simple for guys to understand. So I told them, well, you should lead with your wallet. But I didn't mean you lead by throwing money and tricking it off. I meant that your wallet is a product of what you produced. You lead with what you produced. Some other folks out there took that and they repeated it, a man leads with his wallet. When I realized that folks were not getting the game directly, let me go ahead and just clear it up. You lead with your accomplishments. That's what a man leads with. But the question is, what does a woman lead with? What does a woman bring? And the thing that I told everybody here is that in the 21st century, if you are going to be a kept woman, you will be a working kept woman. You'll be a working kept woman. The idea that you're going to sit at home and bake cookies, or the idea you're going to sit at home and sit on the couch and whatnot, that's a product of a bygone era. Now, you can do that. Let me get this straight. You can do it. It will work, but only with the lowest beta simp male. Now, it'll work with him because he knows he doesn't have any other options. He knows that you're the best he can do. So he will tolerate it. Didn't say he likes it, but he'll tolerate it because he's not competitive. He doesn't have a lot to offer. He knows in the sexual marketplace, he's roadkill. So for him, he'll go ahead and tolerate that. But if you're talking about a producer, if you're talking about a man at the top of his game, if you're talking about a man who's still out here competing, conquering kingdoms, conquering mountains, still making things happen, that ain't gonna work. You will be a working kept woman. Now, much ado has been made recently about one Angela Simmons. For those of you who don't know, Angela Simmons, you can look up her father. She, years ago, long story short, Yo Gotti, music producer, he was pining for her. She didn't want it. You know how it goes. You get aged, you get pregnant. All of a sudden, let me go back through my mental Rolodex and see who I can get to answer the phone. And Yo Gotti answered the phone here. All right. Some folks were looking at it sideways, and I can understand why. I can understand why, but you know what? She must have gotten some sense and sensibility about her somewhere. She must have gotten some sense and sensibility about her somewhere, because for his 42nd birthday here, she threw him a surprise party. I don't know how much of a surprise it could have been, but she threw him a surprise party. And as you can see, part of the festivities included that she bought him a Tesla. Now, I think it's a Tesla Model X Plaid, but it's jet black and everything. So she bought him a Tesla. And I want to go ahead and show the unveiling of it, because this is a huge teaching moment for all the ladies out there, but particularly for the fellas out there. This is a big teaching moment for you. I want you to learn something, because this is the crux of what we're talking about tonight.
And it's going to come through those gates right there. Remember you said that you wanted a Tesla? Well, I got you one of those.
Yeah, and we opposite. I be on this straight, get to the money. Don't make me drop some shit. 7 days a week, I can't fly.
All right, let me go ahead and kill the audio down just in case YouTube starts trying to ding me for copyright and whatever, but you can see what's going on there. So definitely he's happy. He brought the cell phone out. He's filming the whole thing going out there. So definitely he's loving the vibe off of it, and she's gone all out. She's gone all out to pay tribute. She's gone all out because she knows. Here's the thing. Angela Simmons knows what people are saying about her. Angela Simmons knows what the world is saying about her. So I'm going to just say this to you. Angela, well played. All I can say to you, Angela, is well played. You did excellent. You didn't do good. You did excellent. Well played. Slow clap. Well played. I mean, look, people just understand something. Good intentions, compliments, flowery words. Man, look here. That is worth as much as it costs you to do it. She wanted to show that she knows she's with a producer. She's not with a high value man. She's with a peak value man. And she's coming in the door showing what that means. She's coming in the door showing that she values that. And also what she's doing is she's putting a hell of a distance between herself and any other woman that he's been with. And she's speaking in a language that he understands because she understands it. She's speaking in a language that he understands. So if he compares her to anybody before her, he got to think how many of them threw him a party and bought him a Tesla. And that was a Tesla. It's not a Ferrari, but ostensibly, I'm pretty sure she could probably, I'm just going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she could afford whatever she wanted to. This is what he really wanted. You got to order a Tesla anyway, so he probably didn't want to wait for it or whatever. It's not like they have dealerships. Maybe he didn't want to wait for it, and she decided, hey, while he's sitting there talking, let me go ahead and get this, and Katie, kaboom, there it is. And what I'm saying is that what she's showing is she's paying tribute. Ladies, I got to let the cat out of the bag tonight. Fellas, there are a lot of you, especially the young dudes who listen to me, the fellas in your 20s, in some cases in your 30s, you don't understand the rules. So when I say that a woman needs to pay tribute, you're telling yourself, well, how is it that I'm the producer? I'm the one who makes the majority of the money. I'm the one who's worth the bag, and yet she has to pay tribute. Shouldn't she be sitting here for nothing? I have never told you all, in all my time of speaking to you, that a woman should sit around you and do nothing. I have always said that you should outperform her. I have never said that she should be sitting up under you and she don't do nothing. Because that's silly talk. She was working for somebody before you. She was investing in somebody before you. She was paying for somebody before you. How in the hell is it that a guy who was worth 1/3, 1/5, 1/10 of what you are, she worked for him. She comes to you. She's met the bag. She's met the producer. And all of a sudden she does nothing. So the guy who was worth 1/5 of you, he got her to work and do everything. You're worth 5 times, 10 times him, but you get nothing. She doesn't have to do anything at all. Fellas, if you think about this, this is actually not just counterintuitive, it's counterlogical. When you think about it, this actually counters all logic. The ladies are going to be very upset with me on tonight's program, but brothers, I brought the rules for you. Let me explain something to you. A woman must pay tribute. Let me explain to you why, and it's only sensible why. Let me go ahead and dispel some of these misnomers and false notions that you got. Let me tell you something. First of all, a woman has no problem paying for a date to be with a producer. This is why for you young fellas out there, or some of you beta fellas out there and whatnot, and you telling me that, oh, you showed up for a date and there's some argument over who pays. Let me explain something to you. When a woman sees you at a high rate, she sees you as high status, she sees you as high value, much less peak value. She ain't arguing over who pays for no damn date. She wants to be in your presence. The date is a vehicle to transport her to be in your presence. She wants to get that out the way quick, fast, and in a hurry. So a woman is not sitting up here arguing with you over who pays for it, because her goal is to be in your presence. She can get a meal anywhere. She can't get you anywhere. Now, if she starts bucking it in the other direction, I'm not saying that she pays all the time. I'm not even saying she pays half the time. What I'm saying is when you have a woman who says, oh no, I never pay, that's a damn lie. Because let me tell you, she's been in the presence of fellows who are what she's telling you is that your value ain't on point. That's what she's telling you. When a woman tells you that, fellas, just understand, the ladies in the chat room getting real quiet. They know that's the truth. She's paid for other dudes. She's letting you know your value is not where it needs to be. She's got too many questions about you. The value ain't right. So she's like, yeah, you need to pay to be in my presence because I see my value as being higher than yours. I don't think you have a better option than me. Therefore, my value's higher than yours. But fellas, when she sees your value as being significantly, not just a little bit, significantly higher than hers, she's not going to sit up here and let something like a damn receipt at a restaurant get in her way, a receipt at the amusement park or anything else get in her way. She going to break bread because she wants to be in your presence, because your presence is worth more than her money. Y'all better make some notes tonight. Your presence as a producer is worth more than her money. And she understands that. So she's like, I need to get in his presence. That's where the value is. There's no value over here with me by myself. I got to get in his presence. So first and foremost, fellas, when it comes to understanding paying tribute, get this out of your mind that the woman has a problem paying for a date. She has a problem paying for a date with you if your value isn't where it needs to be. So she starts, if it's always a knife fight, if it's always her looking at you crazy, just understand what she's telling you. Your value ain't where in her opinion, your value's not where it needs to be. It ain't. Next up, fellas, to the young cats here, I got to reiterate to y'all, man, a chick don't have a problem paying to come see you. If she's on your phone talking about she's not sure who gonna pay for this, can we go half on the plane ticket? Man, with all these chicks, if you've been on Spirit Airlines or Frontier Airlines, it's a bunch of single females or a bunch of baby mamas loaded up on there. As a rule, and young cats whose money ain't never been right. To the young fellas whose money ain't never been right, they ain't never got their money right. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, those guys are on Spirit and Frontier, but Spirit and Frontier Airlines is just a bunch of single chicks getting flued out, a bunch of baby mamas getting flued in, and a bunch of young broke dudes trying to get from point A to point B. You see, when I travel, I got to take bags with me. So I'm like, y'all ain't going to, Spirit Airlines is the worst way to travel if you're a man with your money, right? Spirit Airlines and Frontier are the worst way because you're bringing bags with you. These folks are not bag friendly. So no, if you're a man who's producing, you're a man on business, you can't just go with one carry-on and here we go. I got too much to do. But if you're a fella just trying to get from city A to city B, then yeah, that'll work for you. But fellas, a woman has no problem paying to come see you. A woman has absolutely no issue doing that. As a matter of fact, she wants to get that out the way. She wants to remove the obstacles and the barriers to seeing you. If I'm telling the truth here tonight, give me the airplane emoji in the chat room, ladies, and hit the likes button for me. It's almost 2,000 people in here in just the first 12 minutes. I know I'm embarrassing some of the ladies, but ladies, I had to put this together tonight in a nice, neat, concise little package so that I can get these fellas straight about what's going on. Trust me, this will work out for you in the long term. In the short run, you're going to hate it, but in the long run, it's going to work out for you better. It's going to work out for you better. But if I'm telling the truth, give me the airplane emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. Otherwise, I'm going to think y'all hate tonight's program and we'll just go ahead and wrap it up. That'll work too. I got real stuff to take care of. So if you don't like it, we'll just go ahead and wrap it up. But in any case, fellas, a woman has no problem paying to come see you. A woman is not going to quibble over no damn plane ticket. A woman is not going to sit up here and argue with you over a plane ticket. If she is 5 hours away from seeing you, she is not going to argue and quibble over a plane ticket unless she has weighed your value in one hand and weighed the cost of that ticket in the other and decided that that ticket was heavier than you were. Now that's the truth. The only reason she's telling you that she wants y'all to split the ticket or you got to pay it is because she weighed you in one hand and she weighed that ticket in the other. And she said, that ticket's heavier than you are. You're not worth more than the ticket is. That ticket's heavier than you. Can we make a deal on this ticket? I've had a few moments to think this over. Can we make a deal on this ticket? Can we make a deal on that? In the chat room, that better not be a female talking about what a real man is. You already know why you alone tonight. Just saying. And ladies, by the way, if you're with a beta male tonight, you are alone. Just saying. All right, next order of business here. Fellas, she has no problem paying to see you, and she also has no problem paying for gifts or vacations. This is a very treacherous trick that has been played on so many fellas today. So many fellas today are of a mind, and I'm doing tonight's program to clarify for them. So many of these fellas are under the notion that all a female needs to bring to your presence. Notice I didn't say to a relationship. I said to your presence. The only thing she got to do is bring her tight dress and a smile. And we're going to get into why this is suicide. It's not just a bad idea. It's suicide, because when I open up the phone lines tonight and open up the Zoom tonight, I want some of the older cats who went in under these misnomers when you were younger, that all a female needs to bring to a relationship. Look, I bring the bag, and all she got to bring is a nice attitude and a smile, and that's it. And you thought that was all it needed to be. Fellas, when a woman values you, she wants you to have a nice pair of shoes. She wants you to have a Rolex. She wants you to have a $1,000, $2,000 suit. She wants that for you. When you see that the money stream is only running in one direction, you need to recognize when you're getting took. When you've got a female who she likes to shine, but she doesn't see any value and doesn't have any will in making sure you shining, dude, she getting over on you. Fellas, to you young cats, she getting over. And she knows it. Let me say it again. She knows she's getting over. She just wants to see how long she can run this train before you get tired of it, and then she gonna hop off. Dude, if you making sure she's shining, and if she's not equally invested in making sure that you shining, she's hating. This is what the young cats need to understand. I'm not telling you that you need to be sitting there broke. If you're sitting there broke on the couch with your Xbox, this don't apply to you. You don't need to be shining at all. Fellas, if you making sure she's shining and she doesn't see you shining, being of equal value, Houston, we got a problem. We got a problem. So fellas, when a woman values you, she makes sure you shining. She makes sure you straight. She's not balking about that. She wants to make sure that she has claimed you, because there is no bigger symbol of claiming or mate guarding than the clothes your man is wearing. You bought them. The watch he's wearing, you bought it. The shoes he wearing, you bought it. And if a woman values you, that's not going to be an issue. It will become an issue if the truth comes out and she actually doesn't value you like that. She just wants you to believe that. So let me get this straight. You took her on a $3,000 shopping spree. That's what you got her, a $3,000 shopping spree. And she got you a peck on the cheek. Am I understanding this correctly? You gave her a $5,000 shopping spree. You took her to Dubai, and she gives you some vanilla sex. Hell, or she gives you some triple X-rated sex. Either which way. Let me get this straight. You paid to go to Dubai, and she gives you the same sex she was giving you stateside. Am I understanding that correctly? To the young cats out here, I've told you before about bidding the price up. They get with you and then they want to bid the price up later and increase it to this outrageous amount. Recognize when you're getting played. Just recognize that. That's all I'm telling you. Next up, oh, ladies, you're going to be mad at me. I know it. You're going to be mad at me. It is what it is. I'm just going to say it like this. It is what it is. Fellas, a woman has no problem working for a man that she values because she knows she got to pay tribute. Angela Simmons is still working. Angela Simmons is still working. Ciara, we know she's dirty, but she's still working. We can go down the list. You think about all the producers out there. Swiss Beats, Alicia Keys is still working. A woman is going to work for a man. A woman has no problem working for a man she values. What I'm telling you is that if you are a producer and your woman tells you, I will be with you, but I'm not gonna do anything, recognize that she's getting over. Recognize she's getting over. Correct in the chat room. Beyonce is on top of the damn world and she's still working. Gabrielle Union's dirty, scandalous ass is still working. So, fellas, recognize what it is. A woman works for a man she values. If you 30 years old, you getting with a chick now, she worked for the last 5 dudes she was with. She held a job with them. She had no problem working when she was with them. So how is it you worth 6, 7, 8 figures and all of a sudden, I don't need to work no more. Wait a minute. So the guy who made $40,000 a year, you worked for him. Enchanted One, I'll have you call up when the phone line's open so we can go ahead and address your questions. But dude, she had no problem working for him. That was legit. That was okay. That was good. That'll work. We fine. You show up and you the bag and all of a sudden you're telling them, oh, I wouldn't do that. I can't do that. Now that I'm with you, I gotta sit down. Fellas, recognize when game is being run on you. Recognize when they're running game. And the ladies are gonna get away with it if you let them. I mean, hey, as far as they're concerned, if I can get away with this, I'm gonna do it. I know it's dirty pool, but if I can get away with it, I'm gonna do it. And if you think about it, think about the fellows who didn't demand the woman pay tribute, either because he didn't have it or he wasn't thinking to do it. Think about the fellas, their woman didn't have to pay tribute. Take a look how it went. Never lasts very long. When you're a man who just sits down here and you just sit down and lay down, you didn't make her pay tribute. She wasn't required to do anything. All she had to do was just show up and give you a smile and wiggle them butt cheeks, and that was it. Fellas, how is it we can rattle off the list? How is that? By the way, while I'm at it here, let me go ahead and touch on this real quickly, because you probably did notice a face in there. There is Mackenzie Bezos and her ex-husband, second ex-husband, Mr. Dan Jewett. I would like to show you all something and remind you of something here tonight. I'd like to remind you of something. If you go to Google Images and you go type in for Mackenzie Bezos and Dan Jewett, you go type in for them, you'll notice there really only one photograph comes up. They were supposedly married and only one photograph shows up. Just one. Even to the extent that when you look up Mackenzie Bezos and Dan Jewett, what you get when you scroll down through it is the one photograph of them together, and everything else is a name you didn't even type in. Jeff Bezos. One photograph of them, everything else is Jeff. Everything else is him. I want you to think about that for a few moments here. He didn't make her pay tribute. It didn't cost her anything. And when it was all over, now a year later they got divorced, and take a look. All he's got is one. She made sure that there was only one little ass picture of them together. The photographic evidence ain't nowhere. He thought he hit the jackpot. She already knew the exit strategy. Bunch of pictures of her ex-husband show up, Just one picture of this dude, and that is it. That's all. He didn't make her pay tribute. It didn't cost anything. Think about that for a few moments, because this is the next concept I want to introduce you all tonight, which is why I'm doing a deep dive on this. Let me explain to you about female nature very clearly. You didn't hear other people say this. Let me explain this in very clear, concise English. All the rest of the folks who listen to me and hate watch, and they'll be ripping this off and trying to reword it next week. Shout out Rolo. Fellas, a woman only respects what she sacrifices for. Now, let me explain to you really quickly how female nature works. Female nature is to try to convince you that she shouldn't have to sacrifice for it. Female nature is to try to convince you that it shouldn't cost her anything. Female nature is to try to convince you that you should just give it up because she showed up. But you got to recognize that's just female nature. We're not discussing dating people. I'm talking about power dynamics. I don't give a damn about your dating life. I'm discussing power dynamics. A woman does not respect something that she didn't have to sacrifice for. But if you gonna trick it off and drop it off, oh, she gonna take it. Just like if a female is a hoe, fellas will take it if she drop it off. If she just drops it off and that's it, fellas will take it. He ain't gonna marry you. He's not really gonna keep you long term. But if you show up and all you doing is swinging them butt cheeks around, it's like, hey, I'll take it. Hell yeah. Today, next week, next month, next year, year after that. Yeah, I'm gonna be available every time you come through. Whoa, wait a minute. Safe and secure? I don't know about that. So fellas, let me get your minds right and your heads right for you here for a moment, because you've been deceived. A woman's gonna try to convince you that she shouldn't have to sacrifice for it. Just like fellas are gonna try to convince her that he shouldn't have to do that. Won't have to. Shout out O'Shea Duke Jackson in the chat room there. I don't blame you. I know it's a lifestyle for you. I understand. Ain't no hate. Get in where you fit in. Ain't no hate. Hey, at least he being honest about it. He's like, hey, look here, I'm a trick. I got to do it. Hey, do you, man. Get in where you fit in. But a woman only respects what she sacrifices for. A woman doesn't respect what she doesn't have to sacrifice for. The fellas that, when you all talk about alpha widows, and when you talk about the one that got away, what the woman isn't saying to you is that it cost her something. That's what she's not telling you. It costs something. An alpha male costs something. And by definition, I mean sacrifice. It costs something that she got to give up. She costs something. It stings to have to give that up. She's got to give up her pride. She got to give up ego. She got to give up face in front of her friends. And yes, she got to give up some zeros in that bank account. It's costing. It costs something. And that's why she sacrificed. That's why she values it, because she knows this cost me something to get this. I had to put up something. I had to belly up to the bar. I had to pony up to the table. This cost me. So you damn right she's going to go fight for it. The fellows who sit up here and act like damn me Santa Claus, and you think that you can rent or lease or worse, buy respect. Let me just throw some money out there. Everything she says I need to do, let me go ahead and just do that. Don't let me be me, and certainly don't let me let her know that I'm worth more. No, I need to show her how much she's worth. And if I just sit up here and spend enough and do enough and throw down enough and give up enough and sit up here and break yourself off enough, go ahead and give up enough, go broke enough. Every time she shows up, you just drop it off. Well, now you've just become a damn walking ATM. Fellas, women do not respect a walking ATM. She will take it every damn day of the week. Let me explain that to you. Oh, she'll take it every day of the week. She will grab a walking ATM every damn day of the week and go cheesing in front of her friends. She'll take it, but you need to understand the cost. She does not respect it. She doesn't respect it. But Jason, how is it that you're so sure and you know this? How is it you're so certain and you know that a woman only respects what she sacrifices for? Because that brings us to our next extra rule here. If it costs her nothing to get you, then that's how much she values it. Fellas, if it cost her nothing, if all she had to do was show up in her birthday suit, if all she had to do was show up in her birthday suit, give you some flat inner tube sex and cook you up some nasty grits and you're okay, that didn't cost her nothing. That's my point. And if it cost her nothing to get you, then that's just how much she values you. Now, she'd be a damn fool to tell you that. She'd be a damn fool to tell you that. And she's not going to say that to you. No, because she's getting the bag. I mean, why would she mess up Christmas early? Fellas, just think about that for a moment. She's not going to mess up Christmas early. If Christmas showed up early, she's going to grab all the presents and prizes she can get. She's going to grab everything that she can grab. And fellas, you would too. If it were the reverse, if you had 5 bad broads show up and it's like they just doing whatever you say, yeah, you might not respect them, but you're like, hey, wait a minute, I might not get a chance to bounce on these type of butt cheeks anytime soon. Let me just take what I can get. Let me just go ahead and grab what I can get here. Grab it while the getting's good. Let me just go ahead and do that. So fellas, just understand, yeah, you think the same way about it. It's like, okay, hey, if they're going to let me get away with it, why wouldn't I get away with it? If they're going to let me get away with it. If they're going to let me get away with it. But if they don't, and if they're not, fellas, if you don't set your value, if you don't make sure that she's got to sacrifice, if you're mealy-mouthed or you're afraid to say those words going in, just recognize you set your price on the ground floor. Because you don't get to raise the price later. It's just going to be a jarring experience. It'd be a whole lot better to just go ahead and say it from the very beginning as opposed to trying to backtrack to say why you're raising the price later. Who's going to argue with me that if it costs a woman nothing to get you? Fellas, if a woman has free, unfettered access to your bank account and it cost her nothing to do that, all she had to do was show up in her birthday suit and you told her, okay, on the one hand, I got you butt naked. And on the other hand, I have my entire value and worth as a man. And that those two things at least even out and balance out. Or at worst, you butt naked is worth a little bit more than the entirety of my value and worth as a man. Think about that for a few moments. Think about the precedent you're setting. Think about what it is you're actually saying. You're telling her that she's already top value coming in the gate. If you think about this logically, she's top value coming in the gate. And I want to just ask you a simple question here. How long you think that's going to last? How long do you think you're going to make it tricking off? How long do you think you're going to make it not firmly establishing what your value is? How long do you think that's going to make it? Because eventually she's going to get it into her head. Why come I can't just have your resources and kick you to the curb? Every divorced man, listen to me right now, who made over $100,000 a year, you found yourself in that position. I have never told a man that he needs to go in there and sit up here and rely on his money. You can't rely on that. Yes, money is a necessary ingredient, and yes, money is an essential element, but you ain't supposed to be a damn walking blank check. Nobody respects a walking blank check. Everyone respects something that costs them. And here's what I'm going to tell you all tonight. If a woman had to pay a bunch of money for that iPhone, she had to pay a bunch of money for that Gucci hat, she had to pay a bunch of money for them red bottoms, she had to pay a bunch of money for that dress, she had to pay a bunch of money for them shoes. Fellas, if she realized the value in a handbag, in a pair of shoes, in a hat, in a dress, how in the hell is it that you're not worth much more than that? And I'm talking about in dollars. Let me get this straight. Her handbag is worth a few $1,000s, and she's going to go work for that and get that. Them shoes are worth $1,000. She's going to work for that and get that. You show up and you ain't you're worth some cornbread and rice in the evening. That's what you're worth. You're worth that. You can do that. I want the guys to wrap their heads around that. Fellas, do you know that women understand that a beta male is not used to being praised? A beta male is not used to getting compliments. A beta male is not used to sex being easy. The chick ain't even really got to be fly. He's not used to sex being easy. And because he's not used to a female giving him compliments, a female giving him praise, a female giving him sex without a knife fight, because he's not accustomed to that, then he's going to go for it easy. It's only more seasoned, experienced, knowledgeable men who understand, hey, baby, your words ain't worth nothing. And sex is supposed to be a given. Fellas, let's try this a different way. For the men who are at the top of their game, you name your favorite rapper, your favorite athlete, or whatever. Is sex extra? How many of you fellas think that when you're dealing with a female, that sex is supposed to be an extra? That's supposed to be something you got to do extra to get. That her just showing up to see you, well, you got to do that. And then if you want sex, you got to do a lot more. How many of you fellas think that's the way it's supposed to be, that sex isn't supposed to be a given? How many of you think that? Or how many of you didn't know it? Because if you're still talking about you read The Rational Male, you didn't know that sex was supposed to be a given. That's supposed to be automatic. That's supposed to be a given. That's supposed to be, a no-brainer. And yet, you're being conditioned to think that there's a price tag on it. What I'm telling you is that if she doesn't feel like sex with you is the goal, if she's putting a dollar value on whether or not she desires it, I didn't say whether or not she has the time for it, whether or not she desires it, understand you getting played, man. Ask any divorced man. Ask any man who's made more than $100,000 a year and is divorced. Ask him if what I'm saying is true or not. Ask him. This is not the exception and this is not an extra. That's supposed to be a given. If she's sitting up here having you negotiate for it, she's telling you, let me see if I can jack this price up because I think I can get away with it. When a woman is dealing with a beta who doesn't make sure in the gate that he's like, hey, baby, you got to qualify to be with me. Let me ask a question here tonight. For the guys only, including O'Shea. O'Shea is allowed to weigh in on it. For the guys only, how many fellas listen to me right now tonight? It is one of your requirements. Now I'm going to ask you how. So if you sit up here and do something, I'm going to ask you how. For the fellas who believe that it's a requirement in your life that a woman has to qualify to be in your presence and qualify to be with you. Give me the gold medal emoji in the chat room. For the fellas who believe that it is a requirement that a woman qualify to be with you. She can't just request it. She can't just say something. She's got to qualify. Give me the gold medal emoji in the chat room. Let me explain to you the value and the necessity of having a qualification. Qualifications are not for the females you're going to say yes to. Qualifications are for the people, not just the females, the people that you're going to say no to. Did you hear that? Qualifications are for the people that you are going to say no to. So that means that when you say there's a qualification process, the default answer is no. The default answer shouldn't be yes. The default answer should be no. It should automatically be no. You're supposed to qualify for that yes. She's supposed to show how she beat out the other contestants. Oh, that's the problem, isn't it? The problem is that there are no other contestants. Fellas, can we just be brutally honest? Why is it that so many of you are reading the Rational Mail, or you used to read it until the last couple of weeks ago? Let's get you detoxed. Why is it that so many of you followed the Black Manosphere? Why is it that so many of you went off into the white red pill? Why is it so many of you did that? Yeah, because who was competing? You see, when there's competition to be with you, let me tell you something. Ladies, y'all understand this. A man can be an ass when he knows there's competition to be with him. But if a fella knows there's no real competition to be with him, then what's he gonna do? He's gonna open up his wallet. If he knows that his personality and his accomplishments and what he is doesn't really strike a fancy with a woman and doesn't really attract her, well, he's gonna switch to plan B, bust open the wallet. And for a lot of you fellas, busting open the wallet is plan A. This is even plan B. It's plan A. Tough row to hoe, but it's plan A. So when she sees a sucker coming, she ain't gonna turn it down. When she sees a sucker coming, she's not gonna turn it down. Why would she? But fellas, what I'm telling you is she don't respect you. Don't y'all understand? A woman will stick around for a long damn time if she's getting tricked off on. Do you know how many phony ass people there are in this world? Folks, how many of you saw the Eddie Murphy movie Trading Places? Give me the hands up emoji in the chat room if you've seen the Eddie Murphy movie Trading Places. Think about that for a few moments. When Eddie was broke on the streets, wasn't nobody trying to holler at him? As soon as them white men got together and gave him the bag and got him all rich, put him in the nice part of town, next thing you know, man, he got folks dropping on him all over the place to the point that he had to turn the music off and kick him out. Okay, but do you realize there are people who will hang on you for years? There are people who will hang on you for years if there's a bag in it. If the bag is big enough, they'll hang on you for years. Or until they figure out a way to get it without being around you. Y'all should be old enough to understand that. There are folks who will just sit there and let you trick off on them until the money run out, or till your health gives out, till your job gives out. They'll just sit there until it's all gone. That is the story of mankind, but more importantly, it's the story of men and women. When a fella sits up here and says, hey, here are the resources, but he doesn't require her to invest in him. She doesn't require her to beat out the competition. Now he says, well, you got standards to be over here because there's competition. Look, there's competition to get into Harvard. There's competition to get into Yale. There's competition to get into Princeton. There's competition to get into UCLA. Fellas, there should be competition to get with you. It should be a competition. It should be a damn shootout. It should be a knife fight. And in the modern era, fellas, update your files. The things that you were told previously are obsolete. If you are a man of value, if you are a man of accomplishment, if you are a man of worth, if you are a man of status, if you are a man who has the ability to support not one but two women, then both them women need to be paying tribute. No, she doesn't have to spend as much on you as you do on her. Well, Jason, what's the metric? I will give you the metric. Because I'm not phony Tomasi, I will give you the metric. Fellas, pay attention. The metric is for every dollar that you spend on her, you need to go do a check back to see if 25 cents got spent on you. I'm telling you right now, fellas, for every dollar that you spend on her, you need to go do a check back and see if 25 cents got spent on you. Do you understand that literally that means if you are worth twice as much as she is, if you make twice as much money as she is, and you're telling her, hey, you've only got to do 1/4, don't you know you cut that in half all over again? You cut it in half all over again. If you're worth twice as much as she is and you're telling her to only do half as much as she's worth and she tells you she can't do that, fella, she's letting you know, oh, this is going to be one-sided. Now I'm going to give you, that was the ceiling. I'm going to give you the floor. Well, the ceiling is whatever she wants it to be. Let me give you the floor. Fellas, if you do a check back and that broad ain't even broke off 10 cents for every dollar you've spent on her, you can't even find 10%, a tenth that she spent on you. Man, it's time to forget Mahatma Gandhi. It's time to grab my hat, my coat. Fellas, if she hasn't even spent a dime for every dollar you spent, she's letting you know what type of relationship y'all are in. She's letting you know. This is what it is. Some of you fellas are sugar daddies and don't understand it. Some of you fellas are sugar daddies and don't understand it. I didn't even want to go into the black book here tonight. I really didn't even want to do that. Some of y'all might be new here. You might have got misinformed before. So let me make sure that you understand that if you came here, you got half information previously. But now, as far as tonight,
join me, and I will complete your training.
Welcome to the dark side. It's time to complete your training. Fellas, if you are making six figures, that female needs to be paying tribute. To be totally honest, if you're making $50,000 a year or more, that female needs to be paying tribute. She needs to be paying tribute. This is not your father's world. Fellas, this is not your grandfather's world. You cannot play by your grandfather's rules. You cannot play by your granddaddy's rules. How is it that the women are moving like 21st century women, but the males are moving like 19th century men? Fellas, the rules done changed. Stop trying to fight it. Learn to roll with it. She says she's strong and independent. Okay, then she can't get treated like grandmama. And there's fellas, and here's the other problem here. Excuse me, she show up to you, 3-4 bastard kids in tow, talking about she wants to get treated like your grandmama. Tell her, hey, my grandmama didn't roll up with 4-5 bastard kids. My grandmama didn't roll up with my granddaddy with 4-5 bastard kids. My grandmama rolled up with my granddaddy a clean slate. You got a bunch of fellas out here, y'all are damn me devaluing and depreciating yourselves. You're devaluing and depreciating yourselves. You're just showing how desperate you are. I want to get a show of hands in the chat room here from the ladies. Let me get a show of hands in the chat room from the ladies. Ladies, will you take gifts from a man you don't love? Ladies, can we just get down and dirty for a minute here? Can y'all just lay the real out? Will you take gifts? I mean expensive gifts. I mean gifts you know this nigga had to do overtime for. Ladies, will you take gifts from a man you don't love? Give me the hand up emoji in the chat room if you're going to keep it real. I'm going to say right now, the women talking about, no, you are some lying ass heifers. This is why the fellas, this is why I got to tell the fellas, y'all got to move a different way. You got to take it a different way. You got to take it a different way. These chicks will look y'all in the eye and lie to you. They'll look you in the eye and lie to you. They will look you straight in the face and lie to you. You know how we know, fellas? You know how you know? Because there ain't a single one of you gave a chick a gift, ever got it back. You know how we know they're lying, fellas? Because there's not a single one of you who has given, y'all have given gifts to a chick a week before y'all broke up. Every single female in here talking about no is lying, because every single one of you has gotten something from a man within the time frame that you knew you were going to break up with him. That's how you know these chicks are in here lying. Because every single one of you, including you, Dr. Giles, every single one of you is lying because every single one of you has taken a gift from a man. You knew you were going to break up with him 30 days, 60 days prior, and you were still taking gifts, going to dinner, getting shoes, going to movies. You were still taking gifts from him right up until the day you said, I'm done. Every single female in here who talking about, no, I wouldn't do that. Every single one of you, you knew you were breaking up with that dude and you took the gifts anyway. So fellas, now take a look at how they're laughing now. Now they laughing and throwing up laughing emojis. A few seconds ago, they were saying, no, I would never do that. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do something like that. Now take a look at them, laughing emojis. Okay, fellas. Fellas, you better understand what's happening here. These chicks are not going to tell you the truth. These chicks are not going to tell you the truth. They're going to say what they think is in their best interest, but they're not going to tell you the truth. They just sat here right now telling you what they wouldn't do. And as soon as I said, well, hell, when you were breaking up with the fella, you kept those gifts. You didn't give those back. Finders keepers. They're not going to give them back, fellas. Okay, but you knew full well it's like, oh, I be damned. She fell out of love with me months ago and ain't said nothing. Better recognize what they're doing. So guys, don't think you're going to have any shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. It's not going to come quick. It's not going to come easy. It's not going to come simple. And you cannot be shy about accepting this simple reality. If a woman's going to be with you, we need to, you want to know how to establish your worth and your value. She got to pay tribute. If she shows up for free, then, and you tell her that all she got to do is be there for free, then what she's going to think to herself is, well, me and my birthday suit is worth you and your entire gross worth. Fellas, do you think you can walk that backwards after you make that clear to her that you got your entire life value in one hand and her birthday suit in the other and they both balance out? Do you think she's ever going to let you walk that backwards? Do you think she's ever going to let you reevaluate that and get a mulligan? Or do you think she's going to be like, well, hell, this is what you bought when I came in here, and she's going to fight like hell to keep it? Why do you think that divorces are so damn messy? Especially for the so-called stay-at-home women. Why do you think the divorces are so damn messy? For the dudes who didn't demand that the woman pay tribute, why do you think it's so damn bad? Because when she goes to court, she's like, well, Your Honor, he been letting me sit here in my birthday suit all this time. How the hell you gonna make me start paying something now? What are you gonna tell me it's not worth that? What you mean it ain't worth it? It's been worth it all this time. It's been worth it all this time. What you mean it ain't worth it now? It was worth it when he showed up here, Your Honor. This is why it's so important for fellas to have their act together and make sure they got their worth together and make sure that they understand what their value is and then go exercise that value and make sure it's without dispute. And then when you get with somebody, it's all free and clear and everybody understands what the value is. That's the difference. Everybody will understand what the value is. But if they got to go guessing about it and wondering about it and trying to figure it out, or worse, if you went in the damn door giving away the farm, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch, as we are defining these things in clear, concise language. It is not up to you. You don't get to decide what these things mean. These things have a very clear, concise definition. They have very clear, concise meanings. It's your job to get with that. If you pay attention, there will be clear understanding between you and everyone else. And oh yeah, I'll stand by what I'm saying. Something that your red pill gurus will not do, by the way. I'll stand by mine. I'll stand by mine. By the way, here, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. Big shout out here to Harlem King. Thank you very much for your support. Grind Time, thank you very much for yours. There was one other in there, but I guess they decided they didn't want to keep theirs in there, so maybe they hit the wrong button. Some of that happening lately. But the phone lines are now open. By the way, if you have been instructed by either me or my mods that you need to call in, that was not a request. That is an order. If you were told by either me or my mods that you need to call in, that is not a request. That is an order. Keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and get to the phone lines here. And by the way, I do give priority to Zoom. So if you do check in with us on Zoom, you can go ahead and do that. Just remember that on Zoom, the only thing we ask for you there is make sure you have your camera and the microphone on. But you do get priority if you're on Zoom. Let me go ahead and get to the phone lines here. The telephone number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Caller from area code 281. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Prince out of Richmond, Texas.
All right, Prince out of Richmond. What's on your mind?
Jason, are you implying that the trophy wife is obsolete now?
First of all, I don't know if the trophy wife was ever viable. I don't know if it was. But what I will say is that men are going to get what they demand commensurate and relative to their value. If you're worth $1 million and you tell a female that she can get with you and she doesn't have to do anything, what you've just told her non-verbally is that in your mind and in your opinion, she is worth $1 million.
Okay.
That's what you're saying. And every female is looking for that fantasy scenario, even though she knows mathematically and logically it makes no sense. But if she can get over on you, a lot of fellas don't understand. A female will sit there, look you in the eye, kiss you on the cheek, tell you how much she loves you, and get over on you every single day.
Yes, she will.
Fellas don't believe that that's really what it is. Fellas, don't y'all understand? A lot, ladies, y'all got to tell the truth about how y'all get down. If you won't, don't worry, I will. If a fella, y'all know full well, y'all will sit there, snuggle up to a fella for years, as long as the bag is right, and and you know you're getting over on him every single day. And you'll be knowing it, and still doing it. That tells you how dirty the game is.
Now, Jason, the problem is, now when you're dealing with married women, a lot of them believe they believe once they get married that them giving you sexual exclusivity and children are your legacy. They feel that is paying tribute, Jason.
Yeah,
and many of them, once they get there, go ahead.
Yeah, what you did, you walked in the door, and if you made it clear to her in the door that she didn't have to do anything, what you're dealing with 20 years later is a result of what you allowed on day one. If she was able to walk in the door with nothing but her body, and you told her, don't worry, I'll take care of the rest, because you were telling yourself, well, don't worry, me saying that I'll take care of the rest, if I make things as easy on her as I can, then I'm beating out the competition. And I don't think that a lot of fellas understand the difference between getting took and beating out the competition.
Okay. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. A lot of fellas don't understand the difference between those two things. They don't know the difference between beating out the competition and just plain old getting took. And if you're not paying attention, you'll think both of those are the same thing. Caller from area code 917. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from 917. Last time. You're on live. What is your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Akeem from New York.
Okay, Akeem from New York. You sound like you're calling me from under your bed. Is somebody threatening you?
No, I'm using headphones to Bluetooth.
Okay, what is on your mind, such as it is?
Here we go. Yes, so I'm calling in. There's a couple of things I wanted to say. I definitely concur with what you said. What I would say is that there are some caveats, and I wanted to know if it's the same with you. So the caveats are: what if women can't be in two places at once? So if she's your wife or your fiance or anything, if she's pregnant, she won't be working for a while. So I mean, there's certain caveats I would say where women they won't be able to contribute as much.
Okay, well, you can say that there are certain caveats to that, but here's the issue. The issue is when you make it very clear coming in the door from day one that you require nothing except her presence, you're devaluing yourself. You're devaluing yourself. Here's the next issue. The next issue is, do you all have an understanding that, well, if she gets pregnant, then now she can go sit down at home. Is that what you're saying?
No, but I mean, if she's having the first child, she's gonna, she's gonna be on leave from her job. She's not really gonna be working. The second child's coming, same thing. I definitely do agree. They do have to contribute, especially since I'm part of the youth, and things are more expensive now.
Okay,
so,
let me ask you a question.
I mean,
let me ask you a question here. How long do you get to take off of work if she gets pregnant? Because she's having your kids, so after she drops the load, how long do you get to take off?
I don't take off. I work Monday through Sunday.
Oh,
so I'm not taking off.
Okay,
at
so
all.
both of you just became parents, but one of you gets an exemption from supporting financially.
Well, I mean, I part of my job, I do get leave. I get paid leave.
There you go. There you go.
Even when I leave, I'm
yeah. Fellas don't think these things through.
Okay.
When they make those statements, they don't think them through until you start asking questions like this. Because you see, then when they get in divorce court or something, then everybody asks these questions. Nobody wants to ask these questions until they get in front of Judge Wapner. But before then, it's like, okay, let me make it as minimal as possible. Because here's the thing I'm telling you here, brother. Your grandmama did it without family leave. Your grandmama did it without paternity leave. How did they do it for thousands of years, and in just the last 20, 25 years, all of a sudden it's flipping its ear? Think about that for just a few moments. Because what I'm saying is that this is where men get that. You got to understand, this is where you start devaluing yourselves. Now, if you and her have an understanding about that, then that's one thing. But just understand that understanding can be a big-ass problem. What's the biggest issue the guys have when they get in divorce court? The woman they were with didn't work. Okay, she promised you forever. There's not a single female who married a man talking about, I can't wait to get away from this nigga. There's not a single female who married a man saying, I'm just here for the money, Rev. There's not a single one that said that. Not one. And what I'm saying is, okay, so you're telling me let's gamble first. Well, your income is not a gamble. For her, it's a sure thing. And if you don't walk in from the first day making it very clear what the price is, what the rules are, and what it's got to be, that's going to be an issue. If a woman had to produce to keep you, then you've already set the table for what it's going to be going forward. Now, some fellas want their woman to just stay at home with the kids. You can do that, but just understand you just fundamentally changed the dynamic. And if she ever decides to leave, you just gave her kinfolk, and everybody else the excuse they need to run your pockets. And there will be nothing you can do because you said she could go home.
Okay.
And you said, I will take care of everything from here. Well, just understand how a judge sees it. If you told her that she could stay home and that you could have, that the both of you agreed the kids would go to private school on just your income, then how the hell is it that if she divorces you and takes the kids with her and got them living with her, that and you still have to pay for private school? And then you tell the judge, well, I don't think that's so great anymore. I mean, they don't live with me or nothing like that. Can't we do public school now? Damn, I don't even have the family here with me. And the judge is like, I'll be damned. It wasn't a problem when she was there. You had no problem siphoning off that income from your bank account when they were under your roof with you. How is it suddenly now it's too much? Now, the only thing that's changed is they're not under the roof with you. But you had no problem extracting that from your income before they left. Now you want to say it's too much. The judge ain't going to hear that. And nobody else will either because it makes no sense. You had no problem with that private school when they lived under the roof with you. Now they don't live there and all of a sudden private school's bad? All of a sudden that budget's bad? But it wasn't bad when they were there. So just understand, you can start these things, fellas. It's the 21st century.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but I mean, so she's just going to put the kids in under nanny or daycare and go back to work?
No, I'm saying you all can work that out however you choose to work it out. What I'm just telling you is that your decisions will have consequences. Love, all I can say, fellas, is every single divorced man thought his woman loved him. Whatever his definition of that was. Every single divorced man, he thought that woman was going to be with him till he died. Every single one. So when you say, well, there's situations where she might not have to work. Okay. What I'm saying is, was this a mutual decision or was this her decision? Did you all plot this out? Was this part of the plan that she would not be working, or was this an audible that got called down the field? Because a lot of you fellas here let folks call audibles and didn't realize what the hell's going on. Or you thought it was going to be a temporary thing and it turns out being this big permanent mess. Because she was waiting the whole time to say, look, this fella's the bag and all I got to do, if all I have to do is resort to some treachery to lock him down, I'm going. All I got to do is resort to a little treachery? Man, look here, sign me up. Yeah. This sucker thinks he got some. All I can say, dude, is y'all are sitting up here negotiating on, well, and, if she does that, there's exceptions to it. Okay, don't be surprised when that exception becomes the rule. And then she's just like, it's 10 years later and she ain't been back to work yet. So you tell me, brother, is it just for your personal life, is it part of your plan, for example, that after your wife has the first child, let's just say she has the first child when she's 25. I don't even know your age, but let's just say she's 25. Would it be your expectation that she's 35 years old and still has not gone back to work?
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying. No.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking what your personal expectation would be, because what I'm saying is that just remember that caveat and that exception that you mentioned. You're opening the door for that to happen.
Okay, I was just thinking maybe 3 years at home, and then once the kids are old enough, they go back. You go back
brother,
to work.
You said 3 years at home, and then quote unquote once the kids are old enough. What Jiffy Lube female you think you got? It don't work that way, brother. Listen to me. It's gonna take her 9 months of gestation, so that's gonna be practically 1 year gone to begin with. Life ain't gonna be the same. But let's just say that there are no real disruptions until her water breaks. All right, that's gonna be 3 years. I mean, you're figuring she's gonna be with the kid till they're walking and barely talking. That's gonna be 3 years right there. What if she doesn't want to have a kid until the first one is walking and talking? That's gonna be 3 years. First of all, you gotta leave her alone for that year after that. You can't just sit there and go back to back. Now, this isn't the damn meat Tesla plant. You can't just keep cranking them out like, can't keep cranking them out like donuts. It doesn't work that way. So year 1, she has a kid. She's going to be at home for an additional 2 years. That's 3 years. After 3 years, she wants to have the second kid. Same process. Now she's still at home from the first kid during the 9 months that she's pregnant with the second kid. So we're in year 4 for kid number 1, and we're the first 9 months of kid number 2 hasn't been born yet. Now she wants to stay at home another 3 years for that one. But let's just say you decide, look here, let's just wrap this up. And she only goes for 2 more years. Okay, she only gets that for 2 years. Then she has another kid. It's going to be 3 years with that one. Brother, you recognize that's a decade now, right? You do recognize a decade just passed.
Yeah.
You got 3 kids out the deal. She's got a decade off of work. Do you think you are ever going to get her back into that workforce after she's been home for a decade?
No.
Make your choices, choose your poison. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. I'm just saying, hey, fellas, let a light bulb go on over your damn heads. You're playing this out in your head, but don't worry, we got an understanding. That's before she started dropping off the kids. As soon as she does that, do you think she's going to be at home for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? And then you going to jump up in year number 10 and say, okay, we need you to get up and start putting in some applications. You think that's going to happen? Especially if you making $150,000, $200,000 a year, you think that's going to occur? You gonna stamp your foot and she's gonna get back to work? She's gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? I've been sitting here for 10 years. What you mean I gotta go back to work? Negro, please. Call of America 202. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Mr. Black.
What is your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Ava. I'm Enchanted One. I'm calling from Silver Spring, Maryland.
All right, Ava, and what's on your mind?
So you requested me to call in. I had comments referring to me wanting to basically pay tribute to a producer and him expressing that he felt disrespected. So you told me to call in.
Okay, you were saying something a little contrary about that in the chat room, though.
No, I actually was agreeing. And it wasn't, my comments weren't to be contrarian. It was just like genuinely asking. So
good. You're genuinely asking. So now you can genuinely ask me.
So, one of the questions I think that you had responded to directly is I said, so is my primary duty as a woman to help or to pay tribute materially?
Okay, is a man's primary duty and responsibility to you as a man to pay the bills?
I don't think that's. I think it's a component, but I don't think it's the only thing.
Okay.
Primarily.
There you go. Okay, there you go. So nobody asked you to be the chief protector and provider. No, but what we're saying is that these are requirements. Is it the only requirement? Well, no. No more than gasoline is the only requirement for maintaining your car. You need gas, you need oil, you need transmission fluid, you need brake fluid, you need antifreeze. There are a number of different things the car needs. So is gas the only thing? Well, it's the one you come in contact with the most frequently, but it's not the only thing you need. You need it, but it's not the only thing. But I'm curious as to why you would think that it would be.
Not and I guess it was just me listening to the podcast or to the broadcast of like what the topic is. Of course, the topic is on a woman paying tribute. So I guess it was me just like, oh, is this the main thing that we do? But now that I'm listening and I have listened to the beginning part, I'm understanding that you're just explaining that it is a component of what a woman should contribute to a man or a producer. So,
well,
yes, I'm
yes,
just calling in because I know that
it is a component. But here's my question to you: is how much do you think you need to do?
Well, I think I need to do a lot. Like I said, when I put in my comment, I had expressed that my relationship, it is an age gap relationship. I had met this person when I was 19 years old. I'm 25 now. I had just started, I was a sophomore in college. And now, like I said, I do work. I am an educator in Montgomery County, Maryland, where I'm from. And this person had actually got me the connections. I'm not making over 100K, but for just one person, I do make, good money. So I do not feel indebted, but I do feel appreciative of what this person has exposed me to. So it's not something for me to show my appreciation through, like he loves jazz. So I have brought him jazz tickets, or I brought him cologne or offered to pay for things, and he will look like genuinely disgusted at some of the things that I do. And I was just saying, is it me or is it him?
No. If you're saying you're saying that he looked genuinely disgusted at some of the things you did.
Yeah, like so.
Okay, okay. So now here's the issue. What usually happens with females is females want to buy a man the gift they want. Not the gift he wants. Y'all want to get him the gift that you want to get him. The gift that you are comfortable getting. And there's the difference is that you've been conditioned to believe that men are supposed to extend themselves tremendously. That there's no limit to the extent to which a man extends himself. He's just supposed to do that. You, on the other hand, are only supposed to extend yourself as far as you want. Let me ask you something. How long you been with your guy?
It's been 6 years.
Okay, 6 years is not chump change. So let me find out here. Okay, slow down. It's 6 years later.
Okay.
Let me ask you, has he bought you a handbag?
He has.
How much did that run him?
It ran him about $1,500.
Okay. Has he bought you a pair of shoes?
He has.
Okay, how much did that run him? How many shoes has he bought you?
He's bought me quite a few, but
I imagine.
typically he will give me money.
How many handbags has he bought you?
He's bought me about 3 handbags in the 6 years.
Not bad. How much were each of the handbags? One was $1,500. What about the other two?
They were all over $1,000.
Okay, so we got 3 handbags. Let's just say they were around $1,500 a piece. Look, can we say they're around $1,500 a piece? Can we just say that? Average.
Yeah. And
all right, good.
They're all around.
And for your shoes, what brand of shoes does he like to buy? Do you like for him to buy you?
Bottega.
Oh. And how much are those running?
It depends on if it's a sandal or a heel, but they usually cost around $700 to $1,000.
And how many has he bought you?
He's bought me about 4.
All right, let's give those an average price of about $850. We'll just say an average price of $850. Can we get away with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And has he bought you any dresses? Because you said he's bought you quite a few pairs of shoes, and you just said 4 shoes. That's not quite a few pairs. That's a few pairs. We got something else going on there?
Okay. So it's kind of like he will give me. So he does direct deposits. He pays for. So I live in downtown Silver Spring. I live in a luxury apartment. My rent for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom is about $2,400, and also like he has bought me purchased my first vehicle.
Okay, slow down.
Slow
down. You're throwing a bunch of random facts out there and stuff I didn't even ask. How many other pairs of shoes did he buy you? Because you only named 4 Bottega, and you said, oh, well, he's bought quite a few pairs of shoes. How many other shoes besides the Bottega did he buy you?
Oh, just like simple stuff like Tory Burch flip-flops, which are about $200.
You say simple stuff, but I'm just saying that adds up. So how many Tory Burch?
I have about 2 pairs of Tory Burch flip-flops.
Okay. So, like I say, we're going down the aisle here for it. So far, so good. I mean, as far as you're concerned. And did you say he's paying your rent, or you're just saying that your rent is $2,400 a month?
He's paying it's a situation.
Okay, which is it? Which is it in the last 3? Who's been paying your rent since March?
He has.
So March, April, May, the last 3 first of the months, he's footed the rent.
Yes.
And you said that he helped you buy a car.
Yes, he's helped me. I had to put down the payment, but he did co-sign. So I did put down the down payment. He helped me get my first car.
Okay. Well, what kind of car was it?
It's a simple car. It's a Hyundai Elantra.
Okay, well, congratulations.
2020. So it's not. Yeah, thank you.
Is he black?
He is black.
Be honest.
He is black, to be honest.
Don't lie.
He is black.
How old?
He is black.
How old are you again, ma'am?
I'm 25.
And how old is he?
He's 54. Our birthdays are a week apart.
Wait a minute, what was that? How old is he again?
He's 54.
What?
I said it was an age gap relationship, and that's maybe why the way that I was interpreting the conversation was a bit different.
Yeah, buddy. What'd she say? I'm looking for a sugar daddy with no delay. I'm through. I'm looking for a sugar daddy with no delay. Oh, that was it. That was it. She said, I need a sugar daddy stat.
Mr. Black, please. to my defense,
There ain't no defense. There's no defense for this. There's no defense for this, but go ahead.
Mr. Buck, the men who are attracted to me are typically older men. I don't know what it is, but most men who are attracted to me who will approach me are older men, like 20 plus years, which I don't mind.
Auntie, chill.
Man, most of the men who approach her are older. No, the men that you prefer are older. Because you like, look here, I can't hang with the chicks in his age group, but I can't hang with the chicks in my age group, but I can damn sure beat out grandma. So she's just like, look, let me go get me something older. It's not, older men don't approach you. You make yourself available to older men because you trying to get the bag. You like, hey, the average 25-year-old, he can't pay my rent in Silver Springs, Maryland. He can't pay for a Hyundai, the car note. He damn sure ain't footing no Bottega shoes. He ain't doing that because he's struggling along with you. So you're like, hey, I'm struggling enough for both of us. Let me go find me a sugar daddy stat and let him pay my bills and we'll call it love.
No, but this is the thing. I have grown actual love for him because of the other thing. He had my first internship. He's exposed me to so many different things.
Auntie, chill.
My first internship. Huh?
Ma'am, I mean, you are 25 years old. Listen to me. This guy is 30 years older than you. What in the deep, fat, fried hell do you have in common with a 55-year-old?
We both like culture.
Ma'am! He was listening to the damn Village People and the Bee Gees when he was your age. What do you mean? What culture referring to? He wasn't listening to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, or in your case, Lil Wayne. He wasn't listening to none of that. What culture are you referring to that you and a 55-year-old got in?
No, honestly, no, okay, listen, I really do, I will refer to myself as, an Epicurean, I really like cuisine, and I really like the arts and music, and like I said, he loves jazz. If you ever heard of Brian Copperton, he's coming to Baltimore, and I got him tickets for that in November. We just went to Preakness the past weekend in Baltimore, the Derby. He loves anything with racing, so next weekend we're going to Illinois for the Super Speedway, stuff like that, that people my age aren't necessarily interested in, but they make, but not a lot that I have met.
Okay, let's try this a different way. Where do you see, you have genuine love for him, correct?
Yeah.
In 10 years, when he is 64 or 65, let me make sure I'm correct about my numbers here because my next part needs to be kind of precise. One more time, how old was he?
He's 54.
Okay. In 10 years, when he's 64 years old and he's about to kick Social Security, although he probably wants to wait till he's 67. But in 10 years, where do you see yourself with him in 10 years when you are 35 and he is 64 and about to start drawing his Social Security?
To be honest, I don't see myself with him.
But I thought you just said you had genuine love for him.
I do, but he has made it known to me that because of his age, he does not have any children. He has been engaged before. He's never been married, but I do want children. So
okay, but you damn sure sitting on the man. And that's my whole point fellas. Her definition of, quote, love is not yours. Love is a word that people throw around and toss around, and everybody assumes they have the same general definition, and they don't. It isn't. She's sitting here saying that she's got, quote, genuine love for him, and is already saying, now, when I leave, ma'am, those are two contrary statements. I have genuine love and I'm already planning my exit. Now that's not love. That's utility.
Okay. I'm just.
And you know it. Wait a minute, that's not love. That's utility, and you know it. And I ain't hating on it. I'm just saying, hey, it is what it is. I mean, he gonna let you in his pockets, then rampage. Do what you do. You didn't steal it from him.
Rampage.
You didn't steal it from him. But let's not pretend that this is something different than it is. You found a come up. You found a dude who's willing to break bread for some geriatric sex. Okay, fine. And you're just like, hey, this is great. I'm living the high life. I'm 25 years old, and inflation and gentrification are not issues in my life. How can I be mad at you for that? But when you start saying it's genuine love, I've got genuine love for him. When you say those words, what do you mean? And I want the fellas to pay attention to this. When you say I have genuine love for this sextagenarian, what do you mean?
So what I mean by genuine love is I truly do respect this man. I don't go around and with girlfriends talk about, oh yeah, I'm getting to the bag or anything like that. Like, I make it a thing. I know what he likes, and to genuinely, like, I know I keep using the word genuinely, but it's because it's true. I'm not having any ulterior motives, because people can flip it and say the same thing about him. Oh, he's using a young girl for,
he's not here saying that he has, quote, genuine love for you. So he's not here representing that that's why he's doing it. So you're here representing that, Jason, it's not just about money. Jason, don't say it's just about money. I have genuine love for him. And by the way, I need to correct that. Quinquagenarian. So if they're in their 50s, it's a quinquagenarian. If they're in their 60s, it's a sexagenarian. All right, just clearing it up right there, because you all know I try to stay solid about those things. But the bottom line is you and Red Fox are getting along, and that's great and everything. But my point is, when you say love, you notice I asked you that once. I'm going to ask you again. When you say I have, quote, genuine love for him, what do you mean when you say love? What kind of, quote, love are you saying?
I'm saying that I respect him.
Fellas, I need every single male, black, white, young, old, American-born, immigrant, teenager, nursing home. Pay careful attention to what she's saying right now, because this is never going to change. And she means what she's saying, so we're actually very lucky that we have her here to tell the straight truth about what she really means. Because I asked her, what's your definition of love in regards to this man? And she said, I respect him. Glad to hear that. Can you define, quote, respect in reference to him? And when you say you respect him, what do you mean by respect in reference to him?
What I mean by respect, let me just take my time, but I guess it's just having a deep admiration, because when somebody exposes you to things that you haven't been exposed to, and you truly are appreciative of it, you do have a deep admiration of it, or of that person. And it's not of me trying to maliciously take money from him. He wants to give me these things.
I have a deep admiration for him. Okay. She's got a deep admiration. She has a deep admiration for Ossie Davis. You didn't. Okay, I don't understand what you mean by I have a deep admiration for him. What does that mean?
A deep admiration means that, like, when you admire someone, when you look up to someone, when you study them and you want to make their life better in whatever way. I want to make his life more pleasurable in whatever way I can, because he has helped me in so many different ways. Okay. So it's not like me just taking. I do see, I know that he loves French cuisine. So I took it upon myself to take French cooking classes to learn how to make risotto and seared scallops with the blanc and just different stuff. I know that he likes jazz, and just studying a person and having reverence for them, not disrespecting them, not having malicious intent for him. That's what I mean by respect.
Okay. Well, she's certainly saying that she respects and admires him, that she looks up to him. That's great. That's wonderful. But if what you're saying though is that you look up to him and admire him for what he can do for you and what he's contributed to you. Now, don't get me wrong. Having concrete definitions of things and a concrete definition of your interest in a relationship is key. But you notice that's different from what you'd be saying for a guy your age.
Yeah.
Because a fella your age, you would be referring to what you two have done together, how you've grown together, what you've built together, what you have together. You're referring to what this man has brought and deposited to you.
That's true.
So just going forward, I want guys to understand something. When a female uses words like, you're nice, I respect him, he's good people, or something like that, notice the words that are missing. She isn't speaking about him in masculine or intimate terms. Recognize when a woman is giving you the friend zone characterization, guys. She's speaking about him in a fatherly, gingerly manner. She isn't speaking about him as a masculine figure that she is attracted to him as a masculine being. She's just talking about, oh, I like him, I respect him, I admire him. These are all the things that you would say about a professor at your university who was 54 years old. You say the same things about him. There's nothing that there is absolutely nothing you just said about this man that isn't a generic that could be used for literally any other man in your life. Coworker, manager, professor at your school, your boss, your dad, your granddad. There's nothing you just said that couldn't apply to all of them. And what I'm saying is, yeah, that's the extent emotionally to which you are with him. Because every time you look at him, that's what you see. You don't see a peer. And he's made it very clear that you two are not peers. Furthermore, nor are you looking to be peers with him. You're looking to extract benefits. And you like the benefits. And I'm not saying you're wrong for that. Knock yourself out. It's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. But when you start characterizing that there's more to it than that, now that's the problem. Because now you're lying to yourself. You can spend time with this man without telling yourself it's way more than it really is. Because you've already said, well, yeah, I already know there's an expiration date. Then when you start using words like, I got a deep love for him, deep respect for him, maybe, though you haven't given me anything that quantifies, quote, why you would respect him. I admire him. Well, you really haven't defined why that is either. Because just because a person has bought you things doesn't mean that they've contributed to your life. We went to the speedway. We went to the motorway. Life isn't supposed to be one big ass vacation. Now, if a guy can pay for that kind of stuff, that's great and everything. But two people being together isn't built on a vacation. This never ending vacation. That's never a good thing. And that's why I said 10 years from now, where do you see yourself when you're 35 and he's 64? And that's when she's like, oh, I'm going to make my way towards the exits. I'm going to make my way toward the exits. And I'm just like, okay. All right. Just keep that in mind. Going forward, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. Going forward.
Well, I definitely did get some new insight, and that's why I'm here. I recently have found your channel, and I tell you, I have went through your whole catalog just about, and I am trying to become better and improve myself. And I am 25, so I don't know everything. I know that. So thank you so much.
You're not unique,
for your insight.
but you're not unique.
I know.
Most
know
females
that.
are trying to get what you're doing right now. Most of them are trying to do that. Most of them are trying to do it and couldn't catch. So but here's the thing that you understand. You also understand that if you were not 25 years old, and by the way, what size do you wear? Be honest. I'm going to get proof.
I wear a size 4, and I wear a size 4.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'3".
5'3". She wears a size 4. What cup size do you wear?
I have my breast size is a size D.
There you go. So the bottom line is that you're under no illusions. You understand.
No.
You understand why he's there. You're not stupid. You're not blind.
Yeah.
You're not dumb. You get it. You know why you're there. And you know if you were not 25 size 4 D cups, you know you wouldn't be anywhere near his zip code. And you know that.
Yeah.
If you were 5'3" and 200 pounds, I don't care how sterling your personality, you wouldn't be there. So you're under no illusions about the only reason why these, quote, older men stop to give you the time of day. What you letting them know is that, hey, a little young thing can light up the world for you before she runs on to the next one. So all I can say, baby, is shake them old niggas upside down and drag as much out of them as you can. That's all I can say for you, baby. It's like Missy Elliott. Just make sure you're ahead of the game. Make the money. Don't let the money make you. So just, hey, grab every dollar you can get. I'm not lying to you. Hey, grab every dollar you can get. If you're in the game, be in the game. Be in it to win it. If you're in the game, be in it to win it, baby. Shake his ass upside down and get every penny you can. I ain't mad at you. You think I'm mad? I'm mad about what? Baby, grab every dime you can. Follow that nigga around the house. If spare change fall out of his pockets, pick it up. I ain't mad at you.
I want a family, so that's why I said in 10 years after this, I do want somebody who's closer to my age, and that's not my intention. Granted, I do know why older men do approach me because I think I do come off a little bit more mature than the average 5-year-old.
You come off available. You come off available. She's 25 and she available, and she gonna let them recapture their youth again. She's 25 and available. So that's why you sitting up here talking about, well, what she's really saying is that when I get 30, then I'm gonna, quote, get serious. No, what she means is that after this dude finishes paying off this car.
Oh my goodness.
There you go. After he finishes paying off this car, then she gonna be like, okay, let me go ahead and cash him out.
No.
I ain't mad at you. She's like, I'm getting my rent paid, car paid. I'm gonna keep a smile on his face until then. I will tell you one thing though. Women need to be very careful about subtle signs of contempt. I'm gonna say this and then I gotta go on to the next caller. So area code 469-937-646 and all the others, just stay on the line for me. I'll be with you here in a moment. Women need to be very careful for subtle signs of contempt, particularly young women. So when you're telling me that you did something for this guy and he was kind of like he didn't like it, you know why that is?
Yeah.
Because understand something, he's not stupid. He might want benefits, but he ain't stupid. Do you work? Yeah, you said you work. Here's the issue. You talked about you got deep love for him. You said he bought you a $1,500 handbag. You bought him jazz tickets. How much did that jazz ticket cost you?
The jazz ticket, it's front row. It's $100.
The jazz ticket was $100.
Yeah, it's for a popular jazz artist.
But the ticket, okay, my point is that jazz ticket was half the cost of your Tory Burch sandals. That jazz ticket was half the cost of your Tory Burch sandals that he bought you. 1/8 of the average cost of the Bottega shoes. And 1/15 the cost of one of them handbags he bought you. You think he doesn't realize that you working and all she doing is throwing crumbs back the other way? You think he doesn't see that? You think he doesn't notice that? He notices it?
He does. He knows. He's the one who got me the job. I work in Montgomery County. If anybody's from the DMV area,
hell.
they know that Montgomery County, PG County are, really good counties to work in, especially education.
Yeah, but the point is the money ain't coming back from you to him nearly as much. She admires him, just not $1,500 much of admiration. Oh, he's improved my life and shown me so many things. Yeah, just not $1,500 worth. Just not that.
Well, that's why I'm listening, because now
he buys me a $1,500 handbag, and I'm going to go home and fix him some pasta. He bought me an $1,000 pair of shoes. I'm going to go home and see if I can make him some frickin' feta and rice. And we'll call it even. By the way, you said that y'all went to the motorway, correct?
Yeah.
Who paid for that?
That's what he
You
did.
went, okay,
He
you went,
did.
he did.
He did.
You went to the Derby, correct?
Yeah,
Who paid for that?
he did.
Okay, so in other words, all these, quote, cultural events that you love so much, he's footing the bill for each and every last thing. And y'all been, quote, unquote, did you say y'all were together for 6 years?
Yes.
Girl. You've been dealing with this. You were 19. You're 25 now. You were 20 years old dealing with a 49-year-old. 19 running around with a 48-year-old. And I'm stopping there, but I'm like, okay. She was 19 running around with a 48-year-old.
Yes. And I'm not laughing at what you're saying, because it actually...
Your parents was trying to get
that.
you up off of them quick. They were trying to get you up off of them quick. Where is this guy? Where is this guy from originally?
He's from Fort Washington, Maryland.
No, where is he from originally? Is he like an immigrant? Is he from Africa or something?
No, he's African American.
No, I need to see the paperwork on that.
He's from...
No, I need to see the paperwork on that. In any case, though, so you're telling us, okay, stop. The bottom line is you're telling us you were 19 years old dating a 48-year-old.
That's not something I'm proud of, but...
Clearly, 6 years later, you clearly proud of it.
I mean, if I'm going to be with him, I mean...
There you go. Hey, if you're going to be in it to win it. So, but just understand... Females need to watch out for subtle signs of contempt, because that doesn't get better. And you think you got his expiration date, he's got yours. Especially if the stuff you're doing is not commensurate to what he's doing. If you're not really paying attention, you're soaking up prizes and you're not really paying attention to the things he likes. Here's the other problem he's gotten himself into a trick bag over, is that if you got some little young gal who doesn't make what you make or whatever, or doesn't know what you know, she either doesn't have the ability or doesn't have the will to purchase for you the kinds of gifts that resonate with you as a 54-year-old man.
And I will agree with you. He has mentioned things. That's
okay, ma'am, you know full well. Take a look at the shoes he wears. Have you bought him a similar pair of shoes?
Yes. No.
Why not? You got the money for it. You got the income for it. Okay, you saw what he wearing on his feet, just like he saw what you were wearing on your feet. He was able to buy you what you got on your feet. Why is it you didn't go buy him what he's got on his feet? Yeah, there you go. This is why younger chicks want to get with older dudes, because they're hoping they can find a trick daddy. And he'll go ahead and just drop off the bag. And all she does is sit up here and give him some throw rug sex every couple of weeks, assuming his Viagra can keep up. And then that's it. But meanwhile, fellas, they know what they're doing. She's not paying tribute, and she's like, why should I if he gonna keep buying shoes and I can get away with it? Even though he's showing her he doesn't like it, she's sitting here telling y'all, well, I know it's gonna end anyway. Guys, the game is ruthless. She's sitting here saying, I know this is gonna end anyway. That's the reason she's like, I don't have to buy that for him. Why should I? It's gonna end anyway. So I already know that. I might as well extract as much as I can, but I'm not doing anything for him. Here's a ticket to a jazz concert. You know damn well he knows the difference between that. He took you to the Derby. Here's a jazz concert. She knows what she's doing. She's like, yeah, you're not worth that much. You know why? Because the whole thing I made this program about tonight. Fellas, if it cost, how much did it cost you to get with him? Nothing. You was a raggedy ass 19-year-old. You wasn't even a grown woman yet. It wasn't like you had no style to you. It cost you nothing to get with this man. That's why you value it at nothing. Oh, you're great to get. I told you, I've been saying the whole program, you're Exhibit A for the nice program. I really appreciate you calling up because you proved everything I said tonight is true. Everything. You're here to grab what you can get, soak it up, but because he didn't make you sacrifice, he didn't make you pay tribute coming in the door, you're like, why do I got to do something for you now? You've been letting me sit up and do all this stuff, 6 years later. How the hell are you going to demand I pay tribute? You didn't demand tribute from me before. I'm not going to do it now. So what's his leverage? Well, I'll get up and leave. She's like, I figured you were leaving anyway. I was just trying to get as much as I could before then. You said you didn't want kids. And I mean, I am really 25. So I look 10 years in the future. It's like, I'll just ride this bus as far as it'll go. I'll just ride this bus as far as we can go. Hey, grab everything you can, babe. Anything that ain't bolted down, get it. Get it. I ain't mad at you.
Goodness.
I just wanted to articulate and illuminate where we find ourselves, baby. Go ahead and get it, baby. You in the game. Be in it to win it. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Hey, she in the game, but she in it to win. I'll just say, if you're going to be in the game, be in it to win it. Be in it to win it. Call of Miracle Code 469. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Thomas calling from Dallas, Texas.
Thomas from Dallas. What's on your mind?
Wow. That's incredible, Jason. I mean, literally that old man is he's game goofy. She's running game. She's literally done sucked the right and left nut out of this dude. And he might not make it 10 years the way she's putting it on him. I mean, 19 years old, man. I believe she was younger than that when he met her. And I believe this guy's probably married also. I mean, because he don't stay with her. He haven't moved her in 6 years, so yeah, it's something else going on with this dude. I guarantee that guy's married, probably married with kids. I mean, she wouldn't know. You know,
well,
what I mean?
I said, when a fella doesn't have game or genuine attractiveness, they throw their wallets open. He's not competing. He's not competing against other men his age. He's competing against the guys her age. So he's just saying, well, hey, look here, exactly. I can drop off more prizes than these other fellas can. And at the beginning, that's why I said you don't know the difference between actually winning and getting got. Because she's coming in the door letting you know, young as she is, and she's already like, hey, here's the game plan. I'm not going to be with this fella forever, no way. I'm looking to wrap this up in the next few years. So now she's like, at the last minute, look what she just did. Just pressed him for a car and her rent. Fellas, I don't know how many of y'all don't understand this. Thomas, you old enough to get it like me, dude. When a chick start pressing you heavy, talking about she needs her rent paid. She been paying her damn rent all her life. Now all of a sudden she needs you to pay it. Off rip. You got to pay this. Then she throws a car in there. Hey, I need a car and I ain't gonna pay for it. Dude, don't you know she's like, hey, let me extract what I can get? And this doesn't cost her anything because you didn't make her work for it. How long could he possibly have known her before she was 19? So I'm just saying, within a relatively short amount of time, he came to the front damn door letting them know, hey, here's what I'm doing, because he needs her to move quick. He wants her to get with the program quick because he doesn't have the heart to contribute or to compete. So she runs fast down the lane chasing dollars. And then 6 years later, he's surprised. And now he's getting upset and contemptuous that 6 years later, she keeps jacking this price up. And now it's gotten up to damn me rent and a car, and he's looking at his shoes, and he's probably taking her on vacation two or three times a year, and he's looking on his side of the ledger, and it ain't getting no bigger.
And then she said she bought him jazz tickets. She don't know about no jazz. 25 years old.
Yeah, well, who the jazz folks she knows? George Benson and Najee, nigga, she don't know nothing about that. So I should have asked her who the hell is jazz. That's what I was saying. He was talking about the Village People and the Bee Gees and Marvin Gaye and Earth, Wind and Fire. What the hell you know about music and culture at your age? And the answer is nothing. She doesn't know anything.
I'm 50 years old now, and I know good damn well. There's no way where do you meet a 19-year-old? At 48 years old, something ain't right about that. I mean, that guy's kind of creepy anyway. So yeah, man. And the guys out here, most of these guys out here are game goofy. They PW. I mean, because if you a millionaire, man, or you got a lot of money in the bank, you don't have to burn yourself like that. You don't got to go out here and buy them. Hey, I'm gonna go buy her a knockoff bag, some knockoff shoes, and she wouldn't know. You know what I mean? So he's really playing game on himself. And a lot of guys out here do that. Buy the knockoff guys. They look they look just like the real bags. Buy a $40 knockoff. These women wouldn't know the difference.
Well, like I say, I mean, he ain't balling like that. He's bought her a Hyundai Elantra, so I guess the money running low. He's like, between that rent, he had to decide something got to give. So I can do the rent or I can do a luxury car. I can't do both.
That guy's married, Jason. I guarantee you, man. Because he's paying her rent. I mean, you done been with her 6 years and you haven't moved in your house. Yeah, that's something. He's hiding something.
Yeah, I mean, some of these fellas, you got to understand, some dudes have been through a damn drought for so long. Like, because here's the thing, he's not competing at a high level. So if you got to go grab a 19-year-old, what I'm saying, the 19-year-old isn't even sophisticated. She's not sophisticated. She doesn't know how to do nothing. So he's introduced her to all this stuff. Yeah, if you're willing to put 5 or 6 years into it, I guess. Why didn't he go deal with a chick who's 30 and she's already built and ready to go? But okay, let me go get a 19-year-old and we'll just fix her up for 6 or 7 years. You can do that. But just understand, you're doing that because you're refusing to invest in yourself in the other ways and you're looking for an easy win. And brother, the bottom line is there's a never-ending stream of females out here that if you let them pick your pockets, they off in it. You and I both know damn well, everybody knows here, Nicole Murphy is just looking for a place to land. She been looking for a damn place to land now for 15 years. She looking for a place to land. What the hell love got to do? Do you think she loved Antoine Fuqua? You're like, hey, nigga, get out the bag. Eddie ain't coming back. Michael Strahan's not returning my phone calls. Give me the bag. And that's it. Give me the bag and we'll call it love. This is where we're at today, man. It's a bunch of females out here trying to figure out how they can get men to submit and trick off. And it's all fun and games until she gets what she wants. Now, there's the problem. If you are not what she genuinely wants, if she's not here genuinely driven by an attraction to you, she's just driven by an attraction to what you can provide, then just understand as soon as she gets in a position, God forbid you marry her, but as soon as she gets into a position that she can have the rights to your resources without you, here comes the contempt. Hard, heavy, fast. If she's not genuinely there for you, it's eventually going to come. And when that starts rearing its head, you're going to have a choice to make. Do I just knuckle under and accept this? Or do I get up and try to leave, assuming that's an option? I'll let you have the last word.
But what she better be doing now is investing in herself, because that's going to run out. As she get older, them sugar daddies they looking for younger women. So she get in her 30s, late 30s. Oh, that game is over with. So she better get to the bag, invest in herself, doing what she needs to do to get her education, man, because that train is going to run out real fast.
No, what she thinks is she's going to get another one. That's what she thinks she's going to do. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Now, she thinks she's going to trade this guy in and go get another one. They never believe it's the last train leaving. They always believe there's another one. because she's telling herself, if I got one guy who'll pay for my apartment, and if I turn down 2 others who offered to pay for it, I can ride with this guy as long as I want to, and then in 3 or 4 years, when I trade him in, there'll be another one waiting to do that. That's what she's telling herself. That this is just going to be something she can recycle as long as she wants to, because she's the source. She doesn't think these guys are the source of the benefits. She thinks she's the source of the benefits. As long as she keeps a size 4 with great big breasticles, then that's all she really has to do. And even the dude she's with now is showing fraying. 6 years in, but he's already showing he's starting to fray. That means he's starting to think about how to transition her out. Call area code 937. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jamal from Dayton, Ohio.
All right, Jamal from Dayton. What's on your mind?
All right, well, first off, I want to say I just got my CDLs, thanks to you. So I didn't, went through the whole plan and everything. So while I was out of town getting my CDLs, well, first off, I'm 30 with no kids. I met this female while I was out there. She was doing the whole CDL situation too. So first night I meet her, have sex with her. You feel me? Right after that, the next time, she telling me take the condom off. Boom, red flags off the top. I already know what's going on. So I just got home yesterday. I ain't been home 48 hours. She already trying to come down here for the holiday. So I'm looking at it like, okay, she must think I'm a goofy because she already got 2 kids and everything, And like when I'm talking to her, it's like I'm already putting her in a concubine situation. I'm not trying to invest nothing more into the situation. Now, I only been knowing her for 48 hours. She talking about she loved me, all this shit. Me, I ain't naive. I already see the game you trying to run on me.
Brother,
so now
brother,
like,
slow down. One question.
Okay. Sure.
Does she know your home address?
Hell nah. I ain't foolish like that. We live in 2 different cities. I live in Dayton. She stay in Columbus.
Yeah, and as long as she doesn't know you, she doesn't need to know your home address. Bruh, she crazy. I'm sure the sex is out of this. I'm sure the sex is out of this world because crazy chicks are awesome. They really, really are. The nuttier she is, the better it is. Oh, let me see. The nuttier she is, the better it is. Shout out Brittany Renner. The crazier they are, the better it is. Can't lie about that. But the trade-off is now you got a problem. So that's gonna be an issue. Don't get into any entangling alliances. Keep her in your city. I would prefer you go see her. Don't even bring her around where she could even triangulate. I wouldn't even do that, to be totally honest. By the way, how old are you?
31.
How old is she?
30.
Okay. And you say she got 2 kids?
Yep.
So you done grabbed a single mom lot lizard. She behind the wheel. And she has already got you in the crosshairs, and she's trying to move quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Hey, you hit it just on point. But see, the thing about it is, I took a sponsorship, so I'm gone right after the holidays. So it's like that's gonna be like my way of just keeping a distance from her.
Well, that's a short-term solution to it, but the long-term solution to it is just to let her know, you need to be straight with her from the very beginning and explain exactly what it is in no uncertain terms. And tell her it is what it is. No, I'm not looking to get married. Love, what in the hell is that? We need to work our way up to that, but this is what it is. But if you don't like it, I understand. And then leave it to her. Don't be afraid to call no bluff on that. She's moving real fast. She's looking for somebody to come take care of little Larry and little Charlie is what she's looking for. So if I'm you, man, I'm making it clear from the good go. Don't be afraid. Set the groundwork now. Set the groundwork now for what the rules are. She's going to break it. Now, let me say one more thing. If you continue going with her, although this really applies to a lot of females, brother, if you keep going, she's going to break it. No matter what understanding that you spell out to her, she's going to break it. If she's still running around with you in 6 months, she's going to be trying to figure out, So can we get some exclusivity? Even if you tell her that is not what we are, she's gonna break it. Even if she agrees to it and says, yes, I agree that we're just gonna be friends with benefits and that's it, she's gonna come back in 6 months dogging you, talking about exclusivity. So that's gonna happen no matter what you do. The reason you spell this out is so that when she starts doing that, you can throw it in her face and just say, hey, this is what it is, back up. Eventually, she's going to go about her business. But fellas, watch out for the crazy chicks. Do not let them know where you live. Do not let them know what you make. Don't give them any identifying information that can lead you to them. I've been there several times. Just don't do it. It doesn't work. It won't work. The sex ain't that damn good. She's looking for something to patch her life together, and she's looking for a sucker. She's looking for somebody she can just basically hang on until you give in. She's just going to jump on your back and hang on you until you finally give up. She's like, I'm wearing you down. And you just got to make it clear, I'm not going to get worn down.
Man, it's crazy you said that because, man, I'm talking about when I'm talking to her, she's talking about giving me a key. I'm already like, I don't even know you like that. Like, how you feel comfortable? No, but before that, let me tell you, prior to something happened. So while we up through, I'm up in Akron at the time. Man, why she ended up telling me her ex, she was with a Nigerian dude. He broke her in her house, right? So I'm over here like, okay, I hear what you're saying. So she ended up going back to Columbus and shit. So me, like you say, ask questions. So I'm like, yeah, you said he broke in the house. Let me see the window. You know, I want to see. Window ain't broke. It's like, you could shimmy a window. She did like somebody to shimmy it. So now she walking around looking through the crib. Man, why I see this dude that went in the house and bought her mother's gay shit, and I'm over here like, yeah, okay, you think I'm stupid. You like, I don't know he already in this situation and everything with you. Like, man, come on, who you think I am?
No, she's talking to 4 or 5 dudes, and she's just trying to figure out which one of y'all is going to take her off the market. But she's playing a bunch of people.
Not it.
She's playing a bunch of people. So, like I say, now you know what the deal is. Don't give her no whereabouts. Hell, get a burner phone number, as a matter of fact. Because if she can find you, that fella flipping through her phone can find you. And he's not going to be playing the same game she is. Because she's lying to him.
Hey.
And if he decides to go left, he's going to try to go left on everybody.
Hey, that's crazy you said that because literally a couple days ago, a female was dealing with a man she worked with. Her boyfriend found out, came to his job.
That might be him now.
Hey, that's her right there, you see? But the dude came to the job, her boyfriend shot the dude, killed him at work, then shot an innocent bystander. So, hey, I know exactly what you're saying. It hit too close to home.
Okay, brother, just don't play with your life there, so I wouldn't say nothing. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I wouldn't say nothing about where I'm living or anything like that. Matter of fact, I don't even know if she's a good jump-off dude. You might want to just see her once a year. I know it's hard out there, but to be totally honest with you, this is some high-risk sex, and I'm not talking about STDs. This is some high-risk sexual contact. I don't like this. This is some high-risk sex. Fellas, is it that hard out there? And congratulations, brother. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help you get your CDL together. Don't get yourself X'd out. This is some high-risk sexual behavior. And I'm not talking about STDs. This is high risk. Let's try to do something a little bit different. Caller from area code 646. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Onan from Queens.
All right, Onan from Queens. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so you're definitely right about these, about having to be careful about these young chicks out here, especially these crazy chicks. I used to work with a chick at this place called MedRite out in Brooklyn, and she had the nerve to snatch my number from a group chat in WhatsApp, you know, because we used to communicate through WhatsApp group chat at work. And yeah, so she got my number through the WhatsApp, and she texted me out of the blue and talking about she wanted to come over and make me chicken Alfredo and all that. And I had dubbed it. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like, how are you going to call me out of the blue? I don't know you, right? You just decided to hit me up. And, like, if it were reversed and I were to go and do that to her, that would definitely get back to higher ups. You know what I mean? So I just want to get your...
Yeah, well, Onan, did she know that you don't like girls?
No, I do like females. I told you I'm bisexual.
Okay, well, he like them when he like them. All right, well, all right. I'm glad we cleared that. I thought...
Yeah, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? I actually told her that, too. I told her that off jump because I was pretty sure that things were going to get intimate.
Okay,
so,
you told her that you were... Wait a minute. You told her that you were bisexual, and that didn't stop her.
No, because I like to be honest with people.
Oh,
See,
nigga, look, no, Onan, you liable to catch monkeypox, my nigga. Stop. Oh, if that didn't stop her and she's still like, oh, that's good, man. Look here, she been in the gutter.
I mean, listen, I don't look at it like that. Although I will say that over the past 8 months, I've been practicing celibacy.
Okay, well, right, she about to get you off the wagon, though. You was trying to get in because she was about to get you off the wagon there for a moment now. Don't lie.
Oh, no.
Onan was like, you know what? These girls feel a hell of a whole lot better than them niggas do. So Onan was like, well, if I can give me a tiny little taste, I mean, how bad would that be? Let me get a tiny little taste. I don't blame you, brother. You've been living on bread and water for a minute now. I mean, all them big, hairy, strong men's. Yeah, I'd be like, I'm not so sure I want to hang with that neither. I would be afraid too. What? So I don't blame you, brother. I don't blame you. I would find, brother, you're gonna live with a female one time. You're gonna be like, oh, this is nice. This is gonna be like going from a Ford Festiva to a Mercedes S-Class. You're gonna be like, whoa, this is nice. This is real nice. Hey, I could stay here. I could move into this car. I could live in this car. That's where you're going to be at. So you meet the proper chick, and you're just going to be like, whoa, this is next level. I like this. Next time a dude comes to you, you're like, hey, bro, I done found Jesus. Get on.
So I just wanted to land my plane on this point. As you do know, I am bisexual. And that was caused by something that did happen in my youth. And I do understand the stance that the B1 community has when it comes to LGBT, but I just wanted to be known that I'm black first.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. So I know what they mean. Their stance toward LGBT. I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
What do you mean?
I'm not sure what you mean when you say our stance toward that. I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that.
Well, no. I'm saying no. Okay, so I'm saying that I understand that generally speaking, you have a who goes there policy when it comes to people from the LGBT community, which I'm not mad at. I understand because it is of history that usually when LGBTQ community attaches themselves to black issues, they tend to usurp.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly we've certainly had some issues with that, but our stance on it is the same. Your sexuality really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's a non-issue.
Okay.
It's okay. Really a non-issue unless you're trying to get with one of us, and then it's going to be like, okay, we got to do some clarifying. But it's really a non-issue. So that's why I don't. It's only relevant to the extent that you're telling me there's a chick at your job trying to holler at you. So I'm just like, okay, does she know that ain't really your get down? You're like, well, it could be for a few minutes. I'm like, okay, well, if we doing this, all right, fine. Because like I said, right. I got a number of LGBT folk I know, that I rock with, and it's cool. So there's no ostracization policy. There's no problem with that right there. As long as all your chips are on the table. I don't want you trying to holler at one of the girls in the chat room, and she don't know that sometimes you like to wear chaps and leather. I don't want that to happen. So as long as everybody knows what's going on, there's no issue right then. Do what you do, man. Do what you do. Just that's the policy here. I got folk who they date strictly interracial or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. So long as all the chips are on the table, as long as you're not false flagging, you ain't got no problems over here. You don't have any problems over here. As long as you ain't false flagging, that is our stance. Are you false flagging? If you're not, no problem. False flagging is when you tell us you for one thing and you're really not. or you're against something and you're really not. As long as that's not the issue, you ain't got no problems.
Amen.
And that comes from the top.
I'll let my plane there. B1.
B1, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Although we are the B1S, this is the biz. No, folks, I ain't got no problem with that. Do what you do. Do what you do. As long as she know what she getting into, and more importantly, was getting into. Yeah. Long as she knows where you been. As long as she knows where you been. He said, hey, I'm bisexual. She's like, oh, don't worry. I'm like, oh, brother, you sure you want to go there? Are you sure you want to do that? Because she moved a little quick on that. She's like, oh, you bisexual. I ain't worried about it. Oh, that's okay. Whoa. Bruh. I'm just saying, I don't want you to catch that monkey foot. I don't want him to catch that monkey foot, y'all. I'm trying to keep a brother safe. I don't want him to catch that monkey foot. He's messing around. He meet this chick. You know, I'm like, hey, brother, has she been with you? No, she might have got stretched out by 3 dudes. From 3 dudes who used to have a co-star and role on Power. Yeah, she might have got stretched out by 3 dudes who had a co-star and role on Power. I don't want to. I just want everybody to be eye out here. I don't want that to happen. So, yeah, you mess around with the monkey foot and he's telling himself, oh, it'll be all right. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Just everybody put your chips on the table. Put your cards on the table. That's all I'm asking. Put your cards on the table. As long as old girl know what she getting into, and if she knows what's about to get into, yeah, if she's aware, all right, go at it. Knock yourselves out. Fellas, y'all got to ask some of these chicks about where they been. Y'all got to ask some of these chicks about where they been. Y'all got to ask some questions. In that New York area, you want to know why the STDs is off the chain? Y'all got to ask some questions, y'all. Don't just sit up here and don't take nothing for granted. These chicks been drug and dirty. They been drug and dirty. Y'all better ask some questions. Y'all gotta check the paperwork, blood test, check the medicine cabinet. I'm talking about rummage through that bastard. Don't take her word for nothing. She's from one of them STD hotspots. These broads out here dirty today. Don't you wish you had her paying tribute? I'm just going to leave it like this. Some of you fellas out there, y'all done had a broad burn, y'all. Don't you wish you made that heifer pay tribute when she first walked in the door? Don't you wish you'd made her pay some tribute up front? You going to the doctor, your sex organs start looking like rotten vegetables, and all you got to show for it is a back rub and some scrambled eggs and oatmeal. Come on, fellas. Don't you wish you had made her pay tribute up front? Alright, maybe you feel a little different. Fine. Tonight's program is a teaching moment. Tonight's program is one of those edifying, look it up. Tonight's program is one of those clarifying teaching moments. I wanted to do tonight's program so that I could explain to you all in depth, and if any of you have any questions, you can just give this program to somebody else. Tonight's program is a teaching moment that going forward, to the gentlemen out there who are producers, to the fellas out there who can upgrade and change a woman's life, here are the rules going forward. Every woman, every single female is willing to accept a sucker. Guys, it is what it is. Every single female in my chat room will sit up and tell you I love you. If you paying her rent, you damn right she love you. You damn right she loves you if you paying her rent. You damn right she loves you if you paying the car note. You damn right she loves you if you paying to go on the vacation to Turks and Caicos. You damn right she loves you if you buying $1,000 pairs of shoes. You damn right she, quote, loves you. Does love mean the same thing to you it means to her? Yes, you damn right she loved the tricking. She loved the feeling. She loved the life. But do you? Do you think that she loves you for you? Or do you understand that this is a transaction? And the transaction is going to end one of three ways. Number one, you run out of funds. Number two, she stops having the same feeling because she understands you're not a complete person. You're not a whole man. You don't have integrity. You've got parts that serve her, but you don't have parts that lead her. What are you gonna do when she wakes up at 2 a.m. and she thinks about you, but all she thinks about is you're a walking ATM? That she didn't have to put anything in. She didn't have to sacrifice. She didn't have to contribute anything. You were just waiting. Don't you? Fellas, y'all need to recognize something. Men never forget how we meet a woman. Well, guess what, fellas? A woman never forgets how you're acting now. And if you are a trick, she is going to expect you to continue being a trick, especially if she doesn't have a lot of options and tricks. She's going to try to milk you for all she can get. To the brother who just got off the phone, he talking to a 30-year-old single mom. What have I taught y'all about these single moms out here? Ladies, I got to tell you, I got to read the mail. Ladies, I got to read the mail. Y'all know how you are with men. Your priority is, I got to get him before he gets me. So you gonna play the role? Because she's like, hey, it's hard out here for a pimp. She's trying to get you before you get her. And even if you're not out to get her, she's approaching you from the position that you're trying to get her. She got to get you. She got to. She got to. Ain't nothing else gonna do. She has to. So, fellas, the day and age of being the productive simp and the productive trick, man, that's run out. Because at some point, she's going to want a fella who's all the way built and all the pieces are in place. She's going to want that dude that tells her no. She's going to want that dude that she's got attraction to, that she's got genuine desire for, that she is genuinely attracted to. And that's going to be a fella who makes her sacrifice and give up something. A woman doesn't genuinely respect a man who just gives her unearned benefits. She respects the man who made her earn it. Now, she'll take the one who just throws it. She'll take him, and she's going to keep taking you and taking you and taking you. And she'll call that love. Think about that for a few moments. They got to pay. A woman must pay if she's going to be with you. If you're going to be a producer, fellas, if you're a producer, you got to make sure coming in the door, you watching that. Make sure you have the conversation with her. It's like, okay, if you're going to play in these waters, the women over here got to pay tribute. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if you wake up one morning and the spigot's off. You got to pay tribute. There's a lot of fellas out here finding out the hard damn way. They going to this stuff on love. They're going to this. Chicks been buttering up men for thousands of years. Fellas in the 21st century acting just as game goofy. Oh, I'm going to compliment him and blow up his ego. This little old 25-year-old chick has gotten thousands of dollars a month, and all she done gave this old fella is some jazz tickets and a peck on the cheek. Man, if you don't wake the hell up. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our website, or if you haven't joined us over on our Patreon, the link to the website there on Patreon is in the description of the video. We'll be doing this here tomorrow, 12 noon Central Standard Time. You are, of course, welcome to join us. The last couple of weeks here have been really, really active. So definitely, we'd be glad to have you here join us tomorrow as well. That's an option for you also. I want to thank all of you here who joined us on the Nice program. Thank you for watching live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you to Shani and everyone else who has contributed to support the Nice program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.